Go, palms, lift your arms, palms up. It's been said that it is challenging to stay depressed with your armpits open. I think it's because we think someone's going to come tickle us, right? So we already sort of have a little giggle in anticipation. But we'll take a couple of breaths like this. Just welcome the day. We lift our spirits, we lift our energy, and just breathing in that energy, right? That prana, that life force energy. A nice deep breath in, welcome the day, and then release. Nice. Place your hands on your lap. Do you feel tall? Feel a little happier lifting those arms up like that? It's just a nice way to start our practice. So we're going to talk about anatomy. You know, that's not unconventional for us to talk about anatomy in this class. And my goal is for you to really love anatomy, loving learning about yourself. So if you have an ache or a pain or some sort of injury, will you just shoot your hand up so I can see what we're dealing with? Okay. So yeah, most of us do, right? We have an area, maybe we've fallen and we disturbed some tendons in a shoulder, or moved our thumb back a little too far, twisted a knee. So many things we can do to have an ache or pain. And when we know anatomy, we are better equipped to know what is good for this part we've injured and what's not good for it. So very important. Today we're going to be talking about the spine specifically, and I want you to think about your back. So place your hand at the occipital ridge bone. This is the bottom of your skull, and that is where your spine starts. Take your other hand all the way down to your tailbone, the bottom of your coccyx bone. That is the length of the spine. And we have muscles that flow along the spine. So if we think about this strap is going to represent our Erector Spinae muscles. It looks like this. So they attach up at the base of the skull. So think of your head being here, where this ball is, right? And then the Erector Spinae run down either side of the spine. So spine is here. We think about it this way. It starts at the base of our skull, runs on either side of our spine, all the way down to the tailbone. So that is a long line. Now I'm tall, but that's a long line of muscles, right, that work to hold us upright. And we're going to do a lot of movements today that are going to help strengthen those muscles. All right, so we're going to start with our feet planted, sitting in mountain position. Sit comfortably, and let's take a stomp of our feet. So when we think about the spine, we think about skeletons, right? So think about maybe a skeleton someone's put out, one of those toy skeletons someone has put out at Halloween time on their porch. So sit tall, and I want you to imagine you're one of these skeletons sitting on the porch, and you would have your head directly over your shoulders. Your shoulders would be over your hips, right? And then your hips in line with your knees, and your knees right over your ankles. So if someone were to come and look at you from the side, would they see ears and shoulders and hips all lined up? Or would they see head rounding forward, shoulders forward, and a curve of your spine? When I say sit up tall, straight, and erect, it doesn't mean rigid and militant. You don't have to force your shoulders down and lift your chest and sit in a way that feels very uncomfortable. You can sit tall, yet relaxed at the same time. So we're going to work on that. So today I'd like to talk about the spine. We think about it starting at the base of the skull, going all the way down to the tailbone. Let's scoot back with that tall yet relaxed posture. Take the legs out, right? So with that spine tall, hands on your hips, we're going to take the feet where the toes turn in a pigeon toe, turn it out in a penguin feet. Good. So we'll feel that femur head. The femur is your thigh bone. On the end of it, it's the ball of the ball and socket. Feel it roll around right in the pelvis. So at the base of the spine, you have your pelvis, and the hip socket is where that femur attaches in, and feel it roll around in there. Move your knees and your hips. This is very good for our mobility, and you'll feel a little strength of the lower part of the spine, the lumbar. Good. So in and out, a couple more times. And then let's go ahead and take our feet right underneath our knees. So when we're seated nice and tall. We're all lined up. And then shoulder rolls up, back, and around. Beautifully done. Good. All the way up, back, and around. So let's come midway up our chair and find what is a neutral pelvis. A neutral pelvis helps the spine line up very nicely. So hands on our hip bones here on either side of the pelvis. Rock forward. This is collapsing, right? This is a tuck. And then tilt those sit bones back. This is lordosis. This is where you're coming out of neutral and slipping those sit bones back. So neither one, the tuck or the tilt, are neutral pelvis. When we come in between the two, we'll find those two sit bones. That's neutral pelvis. So go right in between the tuck and the tilt. Feel those two sit bones there. Neutral pelvis and then neutral spine. Good. Relax. Now, once we have that neutral spine, we are open in the rib cage. The diaphragm, all the internal organs have plenty of space, right? So let's take our breath. Inhale into the belly. Exhale, pull the navel in. So you're going to take your fullest, deepest breath when you sit tall and take the breath all the way down to the lowest lobes of your lungs. Good. So our upright posture affects our spine, affects our posture, and affects how we breathe. And that affects our energy, and it also affects our mental state, right? Because when we're not getting enough oxygen to our brain, that changes the brain. So we want to make sure we're taking full breath, getting oxygen not only to the brain, but to the muscles, to the whole body. Good job. Now take a deep breath in. It's allergy season. That may impact you. Maybe you have a deviated septum and it's hard to take a full breath in. Feel free to breathe through your mouth. Nice. Deepest breath here, sitting tall. You can have your palms down if you like grounding and centering. Palms up, open to receive. Either is fine. Once you get that nice hand placement and the biggest breath in, then we'll tuck our chin down toward our chest, keeping your tall spine. Try not to round forward, but chin to the chest. Turn your chin toward one shoulder and the other. So it's like you're saying no with your chin tucked to your chest. This is right in the back of the neck there, no sensation. And you feel the scaling stretching. You feel up into the shoulders, right? And it's good to release all of that. A little turn side to side. And then feel free to, when you come to center, roll your ear over your shoulder and then the other ear over. And you can start with a smaller circle or large. Whatever starts to break up adhesions and work out tension. Good work. Now, the next time we have that right ear over the shoulder, we're going to pause here and take our left arm out straight and spread your fingers wide. Reach your fingertips to the floor. So you're lowering that left shoulder down a bit. Roll your shoulder back. Breathe. Nice job. Now take your hand to your lap and your head through center and roll the left ear over. Good. And then the right arm, the elbow straight, the thumb is wide, long breath, and reach toward the floor there. Deep inhale. Imagine you could touch your fingers all the way down to the floor. Send energy through the arm. Good job. And then roll your head through center. And then come up center and roll up, back, and around. Good job. Let's get those elbows going. Keep that skeleton nice and tall. Every now and again, just kind of think about you're a skeleton sitting here on the porch, right? So up and around. Good job. What does your skeleton look like? Nice and tall or slouched forward? Okay, now life force reach. Imagine you can touch this wall and that wall. Really reach, reach, reach. Good work. And then circles forward. So circles like the size of a salad plate, so not real large. Good. Forward and back, strengthening those shoulders, working in the rotator cuff. That's what allows us to rotate. And then let's take it backwards, back and around. Good. How's that feel? Let's turn the palms up and take it back and around. Yeah. So that gives us a little bit more of an external rotation. Good. Works the arm a little differently. And then pause with palms up. We're going to turn the chin up and lengthen, lengthen, lengthen through your spine. And then exhale the hands down the midline, rest at your heart, and tuck your chin now down to your chest. That's it. Inhale, big sun circle, out and up. Chin lifts up. And then exhaling, chin to chest, hands to center. Good job. Let's scoot forward and take the legs out to goddess position. Our famous cat cows. Legs wider, hands to your lap, scooting forward. Every yoga class I teach, whether it's on the mat or in a chair, has some form of cat-cow. You can take it standing, in all fours, seated on the floor, or seated in the chair. So what we do is inhale, lift up, pull those elbows back, chest comes forward, tail feathers back, and then exhale, round the chin, tuck the tail under. Good. Inhale, arch the back and squeeze those shoulder blades together. And then exhale, separate the shoulder blades, round the back, tuck your chin. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, take your belly button back toward your spine, arch or round toward the chair. And then inhale, arch up, shoulder blades back, sit bones back. And then exhale, round, tuck it in, stretch it out and strengthen it. Good. Inhale up, we're stretching. Exhale, round. Good. So we want to move in flexion and extension every day. Let's take it one more time, forward and back. Good job. Now let's come right through center, heel toe those feet back. Erector Spinae. So those muscles that line the spine, looks like this. They just line either side of the spine from the base of your skull all the way down to your tailbone. And in between would be all the discs stacked up right here in between the two. So these muscles are fibers that run all the way down the back. And we want to take a peek at how these muscle fibers are affecting our back, right? So if our spine is rounded and curved, your erector spinae are rounded and curved. And what happens over time, if we stay rounded like this, the muscles aren't firing up. They're going to get very, very weak, the erector spinae. And what do you think happens to the spine? The spine becomes like kyphosis, right? It rounds forward. There's nothing to pull it back up again. So we want to make sure that these muscles are strong and firm, that they're not elongated and weak and locked that way, right? Because that's that permanently rounded forward posture that we really try hard to avoid. So if this is our spine, we don't want it collapsing forward like a slinky, right? We want it up nice and tall so that the erector spinae is holding our posture nice and upright. So what does erector spinae mean? Well, erector, let's just take our hands to the back of the skull. Do you feel those muscles there? Give them a massage. That's the very beginning of erector spinae. They can be pretty tight up there. So erector means straight, right? And spinae means spine. So erector spinae together means straight spine. And it's all these muscles you feel as you go down your neck, right? And it just keeps going all the way down the spine. to your tip of your tailbone. But let's just rub here and get a little bit of a massage. Okay. Now, what moves do you think would be good for, what moves do we do in yoga, do you think would be good for these erector spinae? Can you do some movement? What do you think? Do some movements we do in yoga. What do you think would be best for your muscles that line your spine?
Cat-cow.
What, cat-cow? Yes. Anybody else? What
Almost
else?
everything.
Almost everything, yes. But cat-cow was a great answer. So go ahead and take the feet out nice and wide. So when we take this back arch, hold this cow. Now, when you hold here, do you feel all of that contracting and sort of tensing, right? That's the strengthening of all those erector spinae muscles. So we do this all the time, and do you know why, right? So this is the strength. Now round into your cat. That is the stretch. We want to feel it from the back of the skull to the tail. So inhale, let's take these a couple of times. And as you come into cat, noticing the stretch. And as you lift up into cow, noticing the strength. It's good to have those knees wide, right? So you really can get into the cat-cow movement. And notice from the neck all the way down to the tail, the stretching and the strengthening that's happening in those muscle fibers. Nice. Now, no one suggested bellows breath. I think I saw cactus arms. But remember, when we come and touch those elbows, anything when we lift those elbows apart, anything that's a back bend is going to be strengthening. It's going to keep that posture straight. But we don't just want strength, we have to have stretch too. So that's why we put the two together. So when next time you open those elbows, feel a bit of work between your shoulder blades. Pull those elbows back, yeah. And then round and feel that stretch. So we need both of these movements. So we're lengthening and strengthening. So now let's release and come to center. Some of us, our backs, get so tight, instead of being long, smooth, sinewy muscles here that line the spine, sometimes our back muscles wrap around each other. Think about a big, thick sailor's rope, right? And the muscle fibers get rope-like. They can kind of bound around each other like this, bind around each other. So we don't want that. What do you think? Okay, who gets rope-like? Two people, weightlifters, bodybuilders, you know, those guys who forget leg day, they're really big up here with these teeny tiny little bird legs. They are especially prone for that. But also people who sit in the same position, i.e. like this. So if you're sitting forward rounded a lot during your day, odds are your back muscles get all bound around and rather tight and stuck like that. So show me, what do you think? Again, do a movement you think, it's not cat-cow, I'll tell you that, that will unwind that rope.
Stretches like that.
Somebody's got it, yes. If you are twisting, you've got it. Exactly right. Good job. So let's go ahead and take our I Dream of Jeannie arms. Good for you. You've been listening. So if you turn side to side like this in our twist, what we're doing is getting a nice stretch and we are untangling the rope. So as you twist, don't just twist. I want you to feel those erector spinae muscles moving, right? So go side to side. Feel those erectors moving sideways. It's a horizontal stretch we're getting versus a vertical stretch. What we want is the mobility to move our spine forward and back and side to side. Good. We're going to keep these erector spinae muscles strengthened. Good job. Let's do one more side to side. Really notice that. And then if we're collapsing, everybody just take this collapse. Why we like this is it's easy, but nothing is firing up here, right? Everything's just weak. This is not great, but then conversely, doing the opposite, shoving your shoulders down and lifting your chest and squeezing shoulder blades together, this is too rigid, it's too tight. It's okay to come into cow and do that as a temporary exercise, but to hang out here all day, that's a little too much. So we want somewhere in between the two. So again, hands to pelvis, tuck your tail, there's the collapse. Take the tail back, tilt it, that's propping. We want in between the two, so go right to those sit bones. This is in between, this is called yielding, and you just relax those shoulders naturally. Good. So we find the middle of a tuck and a tilt, and then we just relax those shoulders. Something that pulls shoulders forward is rounding forward, and then these pectoral muscles, the minor, get locked tight, just like back muscles get long and lock long. These get short and lock short. So how do we open that up? Hitchhiker. So take that left hitchhiker thumb up, open it out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull it back there as far as you comfortably can. Now let's bring it back in, pinky first, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now this left hand is going to come all the way over to the right shoulder, and we'll tuck our chin. Look at your thumb. Feel that stretch in the neck and in the back. Come all the way back. Left thumb again, and let's pull it back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eye gaze follows the arm. Pull that back as far as you comfortably can. Feel the stretch even into your biceps. Come back in. 4, 3, 2, 1. By the way, pause here for a second. Where's that skeleton? And then crisscross your hand and tuck your chin. Oh, excellent. Now we're going to come to the right thumb out and open up the right pec minor. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull it back. Stretch. Good job. How far can you comfortably pull that back? Bring it back in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it all the way to the opposite shoulder. Tuck the chin. Look at the thumb. Feel your neck stretch. Good. Right thumb out one more time. Tall postures. Take it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull it back. Good job. Here we go again. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take that hand over. Twisting is exceptionally great work for your back. Tuck that chin and stretch. Excellent. Let's come right back through center. Sit up nice and tall. Grab your water. The discs between your spine need that water. They need lubrication. Good. Okay. So I'm going to make sure that wasn't anything for me, and I'm muting everybody because I can hear somebody. All right. So go ahead and have your just sip of water. Make sure you're drinking throughout your day because that hydration will go to the disc of your spine. All right, we want to take now a posture check. So feet on the floor, sitting tall, hands on your lap. See if you're able to lengthen taller. Maybe in your mind's eye, think each disc lifting a little bit higher up off the one underneath it. So we're sitting upright. Very good. With our upright posture, we're going to take a nice march. Good job. So march out here a little bit, one leg up and then the other. Arms 90 degrees and opposite arm and leg lifting and coming forward. There we go. So what are the problem children? What are the hardest areas to stretch of the Erector Spinae? You know, the midsection we can get to pretty well. We saw that with the cat-cows and with the twisting. But the very top, right there where your skull and your spine meet, and all the way down at your tail, those are the problem children, really hard to get to. So let's settle in. And the thing that we want to get to at that lowest part at the tailbone, one of the best ways to get that is to interlace around your knee, tuck your tail under a decent amount, roll your sit bones forward, and then take your knee to your nose. And that's going to get all the way down there at the tail. We do these a lot. And remember, I'd like for you to take both knees in at the same time when you're lying in bed. Good. Take that leg down and pull up the other knee. Curl that tail under a decent amount. Tuck your chin, knee to nose. So if you were able to pull both knees in bed before you got up every morning, you would have a very lubricated spine. Nice. Now, to get to the upper part, there where your skull and your spine meet, that's the chin lift and lower. So to get at the lumbar spine, knee to nose, to get cervical, the neck, chin nods up and down. Yeah, keep that flowing, lift and lower. So it's basically the cat-cow for the cervical spine, right? It's flexion and extension. Flexion and extension always strengthens and stretches. Good. So nodding up and down, we get the stretch, we get the strength. Good, but just moving these muscles, making them stronger so they can be upright and straight without it being a whole lot of effort. Good job. So head neutral, roll those shoulders up, back, and around. So many of you ask me about injuries because we all injure ourselves. We just do. It's part of life. And the best thing I can say about injuries is go see a doctor, right? Go see your physical therapist, do all the exercises, and then just be patient. I fell running on trails, it was a long time ago. Gosh, probably going on 8 years now, but it took me almost 3 years to get over that. So I was running, I was paying attention to my phone because my music wasn't right where I wanted to be. I was looking at the music list, wasn't looking at the ground, which is a big mistake because it's a very rocky, rooty path trail I was running on. My whole body weight fell on my left kneecap because I hit a root and just landed on my knee and my wrist. Well, it turns out I couldn't pull my quadricep muscle up for like 6 months and my hamstring was torn, and it took till it was all the way healed 3 years. So we just have to be patient. We can move in the interim while we're healing, but if we're moving in a way in our spine that doesn't suit you, if I'm doing a full forward fold and it feels better for you to do about 45 degrees, that's what you do. So your body is your wisest teacher. Just listen to your body, keep moving, but move in a way that's therapeutic. That's the best thing I can tell you about injuries. We can't rush it. You'll have a setback if you do. Just take your time. All right, arthritis would work. Open and close those hands. There we go. And let's scoot back and let's do a little brain work. So while we're opening and closing, we've got that tall spine. We are going to circle our ankles. And notice how your wrists want to circle too. We are not circling wrists. Keep opening and closing. Good job. Now pause and circle the other way. And notice if your hands want to circle too. Good job. Now pause here, roll the wrists, and point and flex your feet. Good. And roll your wrists the other way. Keep pointing and flexing. Nice. Now we're going to wave our hands and our feet. We're going to get a little more complicated. So take your toes in and hands out and do the opposite. You really have to think about this one because hands and feet love to be in sync with each other. And if they're not, the brain has to work super hard. So here we go. 3 more, 2, and 1. Good job. Shake that out. Stomp the feet. Good work. Now I'm going to come in close so you can see what I'm doing with this next one. Finger pads together. So open and close like this. Yeah. These are called finger push-ups. And if we have arthritis, this is one of the best exercises because it strengthens right at the webbing of your fingers. You don't have to flap your elbows, just let your elbows rest, just the fingers. Yeah, isolate your fingers. Good, because you had your cameras on, I could see that. So that's why I need to have cameras on. Good. So press with a little energy, finger to finger. And we're going to get at the webbing. That means you're right at the lowest knuckle. That's where arthritis starts. And we want blood flow and we want strength there. Good. All right. Now what we're going to do is take the left hand is going to pull the right thumb and wiggle it. Wiggle and pull. So each finger gets some good traction. right? Wiggle and pull. Let's go through each finger, wiggle and pull. Now, you might be popping a joint, getting it into alignment. That's okay. Go to the other hand, wiggle and pull. One more time, each one. And you can do this every day, especially if the hands don't feel really great that day, right? And then carpal tunnel. So the arm out, pull all the fingers down, thumb goes parallel to the floor. So this is great if you sew or knit or you just use your arms and hands a whole lot. Good. And then the other side, straight arm. See if you can get that thumb parallel to the floor. Go straight out from the heel of your hand. Feel that stretch? Isn't that nice? Good job. And then let's do some footsie stuff. So come all the way back. Right foot, let's take it out. Spread your toes and wave your toes. So toes back and forth. Back and forth. Such great movement. When we move our toes like this, it maps to our neck and our throat. So this is getting some release too. And then from here, point and flex the ankle. Good, moving that ankle around. Great for circulation. And then flex your foot and high five your toes. Sometimes it helps to do your hand too. Spread your toes nice and wide. Put that foot to the floor. Let's go to the other side. Point and flex just the toes on the left foot. Good job. And then the whole ankle points and flexes. Nice. We want that calf pumping the blood back up too. And then high five the toes. Now I'm going to sit sideways just so you can see me. Take your toes out, touch your toes to the floor. So you stretch the tops of your feet. Feel that? Just put your toes down and then put your heels down, stretch, and then point and flex, and point and flex. Let's work those ankles, the shins, the calves. Point and flex your feet, legs out there nice and long. Good. Now if you can sit forward and lean back and do that, you can get a little core work in too. Point and flex your feet. Good. Let's go. 3, 2, and 1. And the nice thing about that is it gets the fluid from pulling in our shins back up to our hearts. So that's always nice. All right, we're going to do some opposites for the brain. So sitting with our fingertips touching, sitting tall. Let's take the left arm up, right arm down, and lean. Take that foot out, lean. Good. Come back through center, and then lean with right arm up, left arm down. Good. Back to center. Little lean, that creates strength. Yeah, how far can you lean and not fall out of your chair? You got to kick in those core muscles. Good. And then the other side, lean it. Oh, excellent. Stomp that out. And we'll do our opposites. Opposites work right and left side of the body, right and left hemispheres of the brain. So using the brain, feet are flat. We've got those cactus arms, elbows in line with shoulders. Left hand crosses and touches the right shoulder. Good work. Back to center. Inhale, exhale, right hand touches left, and we'll add a head turn. So as our left hand touches, we look left. Inhale, center. Right hand touches. Now notice how the neck feels as you turn your head. Good. Now head stays straight on, but left hand's going to crisscross and touch the right knee. When we crisscross the body, the brain gets fired up. We crisscross the midline of the body. Now we're going to lift, right, and tap. Nice. Come back through center, lift and tap, and center. Now shake it out. I love to watch you all figure out these crisscrosses. Okay, we're going to do it again, and we're going to add on a little bit. So right away, left hand touches, look left. Right hand touches shoulder, look right. And then lift that knee and look to the left. Excellent. Lift your left knee, look to the right. Awesome. Now here we're going to crisscross those arms out in front. Good. Want to get right at that arm crease area, right at the lymph nodes. Arms swinging. Good. And then let's swing them this way, forward and back. Yes. And then shoulder roll, good. We do a lot of shoulder rolls to counter forward rounding postures, yeah. So we're gonna do a shoulder stretch here. We wanna get to the back of the shoulder, good. So we wanna work on this left arm. We're gonna work on trying to get it parallel as much as we can to the floor. The right arm hooks under. Okay, and then roll that left shoulder back in its socket and then look left. Notice what you feel behind the shoulder. That's your rear deltoid back there, the rhomboid. Good, and then head to center. Keep your arm set up, but let's lower the right ear of the shoulder and stretch here. Good work. Take a breath, hug that arm in. And come back to center, opposite side. So right arm out, left arm will hook under, arm as parallel to the floor, hug in, but this right arm's pretty straight. And then we look right. And when you look right, it really enhances that stretch there, the posterior chain. Good. Breathe. Head comes to center, arm stays, and then let's lower that left ear over the shoulder. Good. Breathing deeply, relax that right shoulder down and back. Nice, just give space along the back side of the shoulder, feels good. And then open up like you're a flower opening to the sun, really stretch that. And then we're gonna hug the sides of the body and keep your head neutral, but twist side to side, good. Looking forward. So this one really helps to release the neck. While we untangle the rope-like muscles of our back, we're going to release the neck by not turning it, because sometimes we need to loosen up what's below the neck for the neck to release. Good. We want those sit bones nicely rooted, low back stretches. Good. Twists are very important for the health of our spine. Nice, let's come to center, release that, good job everybody. And at the very edge of our chair, legs out a little bit, let's windshield wiper. We want to stretch the legs, good, pivot side to side. Yeah, this one's so great for the front of the thigh and where your leg attaches to the hip, right there at the hip crease, can get very tight from sitting. Now, one of the exercises, one of my most favorite poses for releasing the back and strengthening along the spine is our hip glides. So we'll take just the left leg on the chair, left hand holds on, right hand comes to the shoulder, and the right knee faces the floor, okay? Now we're gonna take our right elbow to our right hip, and then we're gonna lower the hip and lift the elbow. So right hip tries to come up and tap the elbow, and then we release. It's important to inhale as your hip and elbow tap, and exhale into the stretch. Good, a little tap here. Hip lowers in the seat if you can, and then a little tap. Good. Inhale, contract, tap. Exhale, now we can stay here. You can take your arm up and over, bicep by the ear. Or if you'd like, you can also wrap your arm around sort of at a diagonal and open and close your fist. Just whatever feels best and stretchy for you. Breathe into your back. And then come through center all the way until your right thigh is on your chair and the left knee points down. And we have our left hand on our shoulder. We'll inhale, tap that hip and elbow. Exhale, stretch. Good. So the right knee's facing straight ahead, left knee down toward the floor. Elbow down, hip comes up, feel that crunch, and then lift and stretch toward the back of the chair. Good. Going in between contraction and lengthening, very healthy, strengthens and stretches. It's like a sideways cat-cow. Good job. So important for those muscles to strengthen, to take this. You can do it every day. Good job. Now go ahead and tap and contract and then stretch it out long and then reach your arm up and overhead Or you can reach diagonally and open and close the fingers. Either are fine. You can do a little of both if you like. Good job. Let's make our way back through center. Legs in front of us, maybe a little bit separated, not quite goddess. And then hands are going to slide. And like I said earlier, if your forward fold is just a little 45-degree angle forward, that's fine. If you want to maybe come a little lower because things feeling good, you can take your chest closer to your thighs and then squeeze your shoulders back a little bit. Let's tighten those erectors up a little. And then maybe you want to go a little bit more and roll the hands down on the shins. That's up to you. You can do that and keep your head in line with your spine, especially if you have glaucoma or high or low blood pressure. If you don't have any of those things going on and you want to lower your head, that's okay too. But know that there are lots of options for you to take. Good job. Breathe into your back. Really all we need is a stretch here. So whatever feels best for you, that's what you do. Nice. Back muscles are lengthening and stretching. And then hands to your kneecaps. And we're going to take ourselves all the way back up, nice and slowly. Good. Taking our time. And let's do those finger push-ups again, because they're just so good. I want you to practice doing them. This is definitely something you can do on your own. If you feel a little bit of discomfort from arthritis in your hands, this one you want to get moving and strengthening. In addition to this, we can take what's called the cat's claw, where we claw like a cat, pull in, separate your fingers wide, and then pull in a tight grip. Like you're picking up handfuls of sand or soil, right? Just grip around that, spread and grip. Bring it in tight. Good. Spread it out there. Nice. Woo, one more. Out and really come in. There we go. Now let me see. How far can you spread your finger from your pinky finger to your thumb? How far can you spread your fingers out there? Yeah, that's good. Now let's bring them all together. We're going to do some things for dexterity. So knees back in front of you. First thing we do is take the pinky fingers out. Pinky finger away from the ring finger. Bring it back. And then are you able to separate your ring and pinky away from your middle and index? So 2 and 2. That one, it gets easier the more you do. Bring it back in. Now, middle, ring, and pinky stay, but the index pulls away. Good. And then bring it in. And then let's see, can we move that thumb out and in? Let's do all that again. Pinkies out and in. 2 and 2, our Star Trek salute. Everything together. Index pulls out, comes back, and then thumbs out and come back. Oh, good job. And then just shake it out. Good work. That got us smart as much as it did move those fingers. That's some brain work there. Okay, we are ready for our sun salves. This is where we get in our zone and we flow with the breath. All right, let's check our feet. They're flat on the floor, toes straight ahead. How's your skeleton from the side, right? Your skeleton on the porch. What do you look like? Do you look like tall, straight, and erect, or are you collapsing in your bucket seat? Okay, make sure it's comfortable. It's not militant. It's not rigid. It's comfortable, comfortably tall. And hands to our hearts. Good job. Are your heels flat on the floor? Good. We're ready then. Inhale, arms, take a big circle overhead. We find the cactus and lean. This is going to strengthen our erectors. That's why we do this. And then hands to our kneecaps, and then your forward fold to stretch the erectors. Inhale up, take your cow position, squeeze it back, strengthen. Exhale, we bow and stretch. Right arm comes up, so we take the twist, untangle your rope, and release it. Left arm up. Good job, and release. Now inhale takes us back up and overhead. Look up, and then exhale the hands to the heart. Nice. From here, arms swim up, circle out and around. Hands back to the heart. We come to cactus and then airplane wings. Good. So inhale, sit tall. Exhale, see how far you can comfortably twist to the left without bringing your knees with you. Good. Inhale, center. And then exhale, how far can you comfortably twist to the right? Good job. Back through center, hands back to namaste, tall posture. Inhale, arms up, out and around. Good work. Back to center, and then finding cactus. And we're going to take the elbows overhead. There's genie arms overhead. Inhale, tall. Exhale, we're going to lean to our right. Good. Inhale, center. Stretch the armpit again. Let's go to the left. Good job. And back to center. Hands to the heart here. Good work. We're going to inhale. Open those eagle's wings. Exhale, round. Tuck the tail and the chin. Good. Inhale. Elbows high and back. Exhale, come on in. That's it. Now, genie or cactus arms again. And thumbs come up and touch overhead. Now, through cactus, how close can we bring the elbows? Can they touch the rib cage? Ooh, there we go. Feel that stretch. Now, arms out in front of us. To help keep our tall posture, take your trays out in front of you. It opens the rotator cuff, the pec minor, and strengthens those mid-back erector muscles. Good. Hold here. You got it. Now, we're going to take the elbows away from us and pull the upper arm bones back, the humerus bones. That's a big stretch, isn't it? Take a full breath in. Exhale, hug those elbows back in. Bring it back in front. Flip your palms. And again, stretch the erector muscles. Good. Inhale up halfway. Strengthen them, elbows back. Exhale, fold. Now we're going to come on up. Take those arms out in front of us. And lean. The lean again is strengthening the erector muscles. We're going to lift our heels, press the ball of the feet down, strengthen those calves, feel your low back, lower the heels, lift that ball overhead, and then exhale the hands to the heart again. Nice job. Lift those elbows, and then exhale, bring them in. Touch your palms. Take your sit bones back, lift your heart, curl the sit bones, and hollow the chest. Good. Coming on back, cactus. Can you touch your index fingers overhead? Oh, there they are. And then back through cactus, shoulder plug, 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 plug. Good. Out in front. Let's take those trays to the right and left. Separate your elbows and then pull back. Oh, that's the big Erector Spinae stretch. Nice. Pull it in. Arms back in front. We're going to untangle that rope again. So inhale, tall. Exhale, we take our trays to the left. We inhale, center. Elbows glue in, twist to the right. Nice. Back through center. Flip your palms down. Stretch it all out. Good work. Inhale, pull it up. Stretch it back. Slide forward, come on up, prepare again for that chair position. So arms in front, we lean, lean, lean forward. This time, heels stay down, toes up, and spread your high five toes. Good. How far can you spread your toes? And then lower the feet, arms overhead, hands come to the heart. Last one's like the first one, all the way up and overhead, finding cactus, and we lean. Are those feet still parallel? Hands to your knees, forward fold. Inhale comes up and we strengthen the erectors. Exhale, we stretch. Left arm up into the twist. Beautiful. And relax it. Right arm coming up. And relax. Now inhale powers us up. Look up, chins up. And then exhale, hands to the heart and nod your chin to your chest. Oh, very well done. Head to neutral, shoulder roll. So how are we feeling? Do you see why we add sun salutations every class? So critical to improve our back health. And sun salutations, did you notice how many healthy things we did for the Erector Spinae? Yeah, get some water. We did the arching, right? We did stretching, we did folding, we did strengthening, we twisted. It's a staple in every class. We do sun sals seated in a chair. We can also do them standing. And I do it in pretty much every single yoga class because it does get the heart rate up, right? And it gets our bodies moving in all the way it needs to move. we are going to do some blast off. So you didn't get a sip of water, go ahead and get some now. We'll just do 8 today. Maybe today the knees are saying, no, thank you, ma'am, I don't want to do a blast off. And instead you'll stay in your chair and squeeze your gluteals. And when we stand, you'll squeeze, and when we sit, you'll release. Maybe you want to come up and you need a little assistance, so you'll swing your arms and use momentum. You might possibly be feeling pretty good today and want a bit of a challenge, so hands crisscross. You've got lots of options. So here we go. We're going to count down from 8. Making sure it's not about how high you stand, it's more about your alignment. So let's have toes in line with ankles, ankles right under those knees. Okay, are we ready? Let's use our heels, come to stand. 8, 7, 6, 5. Do you hear things popping? I do. 4, my ankle. 3, that's good. We're moving those joints. 2, 1. Last one. I'm going to hear everybody say blast off. Come on up, blast off. Good job. Have a seat. Woo, good job. Let's do those windshield wipers one more time. That uses a lot of quad strength, and that's why we do it, because quads atrophy. But here's the thing, there are muscles of independence, so we have to be very diligent about keeping those quadricep muscles strong. And what more is a move of independence other than you able to get yourself out of your car, out of your chair, your sofa, the bathtub, off the toilet, you know, all those things we want to do and have our privacy and do things on our own, right? So we got to keep those quadriceps nice and strong. Okay, back to center, true confession time. How many of you do a little bit of yoga when we're not meeting? I don't mean using an old video on your own in your house. And show me what you do when you're doing a little bit on your own. What are some things you like to do when you're doing your own little yoga?
I do yoga with Andrea, which is mostly a standing position.
Yes, yes.
And so like those that we bend, we are standing, we make the figure 7.
Yes, yes, good. The halfway lengthen, yeah. And I see a lot of different things, a lot of twisting movements. Good, side to side, yes. And anybody do the crisscross with the armpits? Got to get that moving, yeah. Moving arms, good job. Moving the knees, good. Leg extensions.
I do the donkey kick.
And the down dog, good. Yeah, oh, the pigeon, good for you. Good. All right, so all that you know you can do on your own. We don't have to be coming together. You don't need a whole hour or even a DVD or anything. Just these movements that we do in class, right? So I know you've got lots of stretches. Rolling your shoulders back. That's a good one we can do every day, right? Just puts us back into our alignment. All right, let's do some things. You know, you can hula. You can take the wrist movement off to the side and push and pull. You can climb the rope. Yeah, that's good for the back. And all the stretches, anything that pulls us back is good. So let's come up to stand. I want to show you some things you can do standing on your own. So all you need is a chair, maybe an island in your kitchen, your countertop, in your bathroom. You'll place your hands on it and just rock and roll on your feet. Good. This is keeping your ankles strong. We do this a lot in class. Then if you can lengthen one arm up, you'll strengthen those muscles. And then the other arm up, strengthening. Good. Also spinal balance. Right arm out, left toe back. Feel that in your Erector Spinae. And then left arm and right toe, switch sides. Now this time, take it to where your right arm is out, your left leg is back, but take the left foot off the floor and you'll work your glute max too. And then the other side, left arm, right leg off the floor. Good job. One more I want to show you. Heels in, toes out. Hold on to your chair and take your squat. Yeah, squatting so healthy for our hips, our spine. You can take one arm to cactus, hold on, or two arms, and we'll stay 3, 2, 1. Come on up to stand, and let's stretch out our hamstrings because tight hamstrings causes tight backs. So right leg out when you're ready, flex the foot, just lean forward and reach for those toes. Good. Keep breathing, stretching. Good job. Come on up and left leg out. Lean that forward. Nice. Feel that in the erector muscles. Now, sitting tall. Someone was showing me that did this every day. This one's a good one. Healthy hips are healthy backs. So when we do this, if it's painful, you always put your ankle to the other ankle. Come forward. Switch sides, right? So we don't want those tight hips. Here's a little clue, guys. If your jaw is tight, that connects to your hips. So tight jaws or tight hips. Have a little separation between your teeth so you're not clenching your jaw. Good. And then back up. One thing I didn't show you for your back, hula hoop around here. Yeah, you can try it. But this one really great. It's the silliest move, but it's so great for your back. And go the other way. Yeah, doesn't that feel good? It just gets everything moving and lubricated. Good, round and round. Doesn't have to be big. Just roll around in there. Yeah. So if you're having a day, you're sitting a lot, get up and do some little hula hoops. All right, let's have a seat. Hopefully you learned a little bit about yourself and you felt how those erector spinae are working for you. Now, your homework is to sit tall, relax, tall, straight, and erect. Inhale your arms overhead, catch yourself rounding forward at the computer, full in gratitude for your healthy body, our fabulous yoga poses, and our wonderful community. Be well, enjoy this beautiful spring weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday, guys. Thanks so much for joining. Have a fabulous day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Cindy.
Thanks, Mindy.
Mindy.
Bye. Great.
I have one more question.
Sure.
The neck thing that you did today was good. And I was wondering, I sleep on that side and I do have on the left side. And is it heat or cold that I should put there?
You'll have to ask the doctor about that. I'm not really sure. If it's inflamed, ice usually works. If it's swollen.
It's not inflamed. It's still flat. I mean, for the knee, I have just knee replacement. Before that, it was the ice. But I was thinking, like in my hands, when I have the arthritis there, and I use warm water, and it helps.
Yeah, sometimes the warm figure. So I would say try both and see what feels better.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, and yes. You're muted. You're muted, honey. I think I can't hear you. Yeah. Now I can hear you. Oh no, I think you just muted yourself. Okay, try it again. Oh, I'm not hearing you. Try on your computer because. Okay, there. Yeah.
Day, it's going to snow in Cincinnati tonight.
Oh, that is crazy. I grew up in Dayton.
What's great.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that Ohio snow.
Well, not much, but enjoy your spring.
And you're in Cincinnati now?
Yes.
Oh gosh. Well, enjoy the snow. It's very warm here. Okay. Thanks for sharing. We'll see you later. Bye, Barb.